So which one of these six would you attribute that behavior to? They just want to the friend does it, so I did it.
I think significance.
Yeah, I think it's significant. Sometimes, if there's a void that seemingly those babies can feel with significance amongst friends, like feeling among peer pressure, and you had that together with it, But if you're, that's why a lot of people keep saying, make sure you help your kids with self-esteem, self-worth, right? So that they won't have to go seek validation, aka significance, from their friends outside. I tell my boys all the time, I said, like for example, a few weeks ago, my boy was like, well, we're not doing anything in school. This is the last week. No, this was actually last week. We're not doing anything away in school. My friends left early yesterday. Can I not go to school today? I was like, why? Because you want to follow your friends? What happened to you being a leader? How come they can't say they want to come to school because you're going to school? Then I made him tell me before I decide what I want to do with that. Right? But every one of us will be in that position where we want to feel among, right? But then there's been some value that's strong enough in us that some of it we just go way over our head. We didn't even notice they were doing it, right? Because it's not what we care for, or we're like, maybe, and everything in between, right? If it's that bad, hopefully you've been trained well to not do it, right? And if you have to make a mistake fall on your face, sometimes we need to do that. Remember, we learn from experience. Hopefully you don't destroy yourself in the process, right?
Please don't talk about this experience again. Like you know what I'm
You don't like the idea that people have to go through experience to learn. You don't like that, right?
I keep hammering on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the best teacher. Unfortunately.
Let me tell you the story. In Nigeria, there's those people that sell, they call it abojedi.
Yeah.
So sometimes ago, there is this particular boy that the friend did that he cannot take two of those things that they sell.
The friend did that he can't take two of abojedi. Ha.
Like they used to pour that thing inside nylon. I don't know. Like they sell it. Like you see all of them. Like you see them around Lagos.
Right.
So he has never drank before. This particular boy. And do you know that he did
does
not
abojedi get people drunk? Does he have alcohol in it?
Jeez. Like they said.
So okay, they do pour alcohol. They pour conk alcohol in some of them, right?
Do you know that this person that I'm talking about too, is God that saved the eyes?
Yes, now because he might poison himself.
The person almost went blind.
Yeah,
See,
I believe that.
Like so, that thing that they sell apparently, like they used to put palm tree stuff that they've soaked.
Yes.
I've forgotten the name. They said the number of days that you soak it, the number of days that person will sleep.
No, but the stronger it gets, I guess. The stronger it gets, yeah.
Okay, so this person never drank in his life, and because he was dared to do this thing, he now took two. They called his parents to come and pick him. They were already scared, like the way he was at the venue where they had that thing. So they called the parents came. When the boy was telling me the story, when they got home, they couldn't put him inside. He was throwing up, he was peeing on himself, he was defecating on himself. Like he could not do anything, he could not stand. So they just left him like on the in front of the house and everything. By the following day, his eyes was now sensitive to light. Like he could not stay, not even like sunshine.
I believe
they can't put on the lights inside the house. It has to be in the dark and everything. And he almost this person almost go blind with that incident that happened. So I was asking him, why did you, like when those people ask you, why did you do it? Like I don't get it.
That's what you're going to. Must you have this experience before? Must you almost buy before you? I know what you mean. I say the same thing with relationships too. Like, why do you have to wait until you end up in a bad predicament before you can pick up the book and learn some of these things? I get it, but what do you want to do, man? Some people just need to go through it,
Some people, I know some people just have to get it, but it's more common than we thought. Okay, do you see the recent news of the boy that just graduated college? That they went on a boat cruise in the
In
shark.
Nigeria or
The shark
here?
infested there, and they dared him to jump, and he did.
Here in Nigeria?
No, in the United States.
In the United States? No, I haven't seen that.
Like he jumped, and do you know when he jumped inside the water? I think after he jumped, he realized what he had done. He was now swimming away, and one of the boys on the cruise was telling him bye. They've not found his body.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And they just graduated college, and they were going on a boat a cruise to celebrate, and the parents just felt, okay, let him go.
That's sad.
That's
sad. But you're talking about the extremes, yeah? You're talking about the extremes.
This is a vocal word I use. Oh my days.
You're talking about the extreme scenarios, you know. The extremes, I agree 100% that these extreme scenarios are one too many. I agree, right?
Like, so what me says that like that might be the extreme, but low key, this thing happens. Maybe like I don't know, but because I work with.
Let me translate that to relationships for you, okay?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like
let me translate it to
the way they are socialized, like the way men are socialized from when they were young. Then sometimes I kind of feel that men don't like their fellow men, honestly.
No, again, these are extreme stories. Let me translate this to relationships for you, right? In a relationship, a friend of yours told you that, you know, all men are cheaters. When they go out and they step out on Thursday evenings, they are going there to cheat, right? And you're like, well, I don't want to go through the experience. You lock him on his shirt on Thursday evening, he can't go. Right? You're like, you're not going anywhere today, right? What good do you think you're gonna get from? So you now end up in an argument, right? And is this, you know, or you know, or you just let him go, right?
I'm talking about like the basic things, like
that's not basic. Like, that's extreme stories that you're telling. These things happen every day, but they are one out of every 1 million persons when this happens. You're right. Bad stories happen every day. If you open certain channels on TV, if you go on crime.com right now, it's right here on my thing here. If I go on crime, what is it called? Lawandcrime.com right now. If I go there right now, I will see at least 20 of these terrible stories you're talking about. Okay, if you spend enough time here, I don't want to expose anyone to it because I think the negative is worse than what you gain from it, right?
I didn't like listening to those stuff.
If you spend enough time there, because these are real stories, it's not like real things are not happening, right? But they become your reality, not physically, but you will have panic attack. You will start. You will allow your boys to play on the streets summertime.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I'm telling you right now. This is something I have to deal with my wife sometimes. Like, no, when I was 15, I was walking across Akure. I can walk all the way to my cousin's house across to Akure, the whole city. We can't do that with my boys. Because there's things happening to boys.
You know how the society is now, especially black boys, but
it has changed and it's different. I get that, right? But I'm saying to an extent, you have to be aware, self-awareness. Like somebody said, you have to have some self-awareness around this topic. You protect small, you back off, you let them go a little bit. You let go. Remember, we were talking about letting go. You let go, let go so that experience can happen. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there so that you can gather data. Okay, this is what works. This does what work. Right?
This is data. I kind of agree with you, but I'm not like, it's not like this thing that I'm saying. It's not like I'm a very fearful person. No, I'm not fearful. Like,
so what is it then? Tell me, what is it then?
It's just the way. Maybe it's where the boys and the girls I work with, and how they can be two-faced. Even to you that you're a neutral person, and you find out that they did something that you did not expect, and all those things. But like, I just feel like parents don't teach some things. There is this girl that said the parents told her that if her clothes touches the clothes of a boy, she will get pregnant. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you real stories, and you know that, and she's this kind
No,
of
no.
person.
Most of you ladies that were raised in Nigeria has the same story, right?
No, I don't.
If they no, I said most. If they touch you, if a boy touches you, you get pregnant. Is that what you just said?
No, they said the clothes.
And
Like
now,
let's say she's wearing a dress
if
that
they
if I
smell
touch
you, you
why
just get
will a
pregnant.
parent why will a parent tell? Maybe I'm oblivious to these things because I have parents that are very, like, I won't say okay, I would say they are open-minded, because
Liberal.
like when I see these things in others, like I don't get it. How will your parents tell you that if your clothes should touch a boy's clothes that you get pregnant, and the girl is now somebody that
Because people that are coming from that era believe that fear
she's a little bit too honest.
Yeah,
So
people that are
she
coming
was
from
not
that
taking
era believe that fear and what they call it, like military is what they need to raise kids. That's what they believe from back then.
Not back then. I'm talking about recently.
Oh, you're saying why would parents say that? Some of the people,
Yes.
some people still do that. Somebody was still telling on YouTube that I'm smacking the ish out of my child. I'm like, okay, good for you. I don't believe that works.
Like, so when I heard that, I was not like, do you know that they were taunting her? All the boys were now using their clothes to touch.
Really? Did she went to school to say, hey, if you touch me, I'll get pregnant?
Yes.
All right, there's another issue there, okay? That's called almost get inside. That baby girl needs some street smart lessons.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
See, people started taunting her, and it's crazy. Started bullying her. So,
Yeah.
because you are into this work. That's why I'm kind of engaging with you, because I know you
I
engage
understand.
with
Yeah, it
people.
goes down. It goes down to the same issues. That's why I talk about let go. It's a lot of men that actually have issues. They actually have fear and panic attack at even letting their wife go to the grocery. Right? If she goes to work and she stopped by at the grocery and she's 30 minutes later than she needs to get home, some of them start panicking because they consume content that tells them the worst case scenarios of
Okay,
a
they believe the
woman.
wife is cheating.
Yeah, the woman's back was getting blown out on the way home. Before
That
she
one, no
got.
madness.
See what I'm saying? You see? Why that same guy is now saying, why do we have to wait till the experience? How can we nip it in the bud and check it before it happens? Like, no, bro, this one is madness.
No, I'm not even talking about grown men now. I'm talking about like instilling
The
in
same thing
boys.
applies to children. You
Yeah,
have
but
to
like-
you have to like the example you just gave, right? You at some point what you just told me is that you don't really have a choice than to trust them, and sometimes they will make the wrong move and make mistake. And yes, there will be some extreme stories of children that pass away from that, sadly, but for the most part that's not the case. But this is how your children will learn, especially boys. Women tend to overprotect boys from the responsibility and
So
the reality of life. Huh?
You think they need to experience things to learn?
No, you need to let us handle that. Let us handle the boys, because I'm not gonna let
That's
them.
what I'm telling you now.
you know,
Like I feel
just-
like you don't tell them this.
No, like no. Well, it depends case by case, topic by topic. Some people believe that boys are not trained on how to be a family man in a marriage. That's a different topic, right? We need to isolate that topic and talk about it, right? Do we do enough work in telling our boys on how to? I teach my boys game. I teach them game. I don't necessarily pay too much attention to the moral stand of things. I tell them that if you break the moral standards that you subscribe to, there are consequences for it, right? If you break certain standards based off of society standards, if the world think you're wrong, you're going to collect too, right? I teach them those kind of stuff so that they can learn how to navigate in life, right? I don't teach my girl that if somebody touch your clothes, you get pregnant. I believe that type of lesson belonged in 60 years ago. I can understand why they taught people that back then. I don't really get it, but that's where a lot of our parents learn that from. They teach people my age mates. They teach them that, hey, if a boy touches you, you get pregnant, and they carry that fear over into marriage. It affects their sexuality inside of marriage, right? And yet, those same girls, a significant percentage, one too many, were tampered with by drivers, right? Or uncle or somebody. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of dysfunction there. I'm not here to judge our parents. They can only no. There's no era that's perfect. We can only learn as we go. From what I know today, my own opinion when it comes to raising children is to lead by example. Show them what you want them to learn, and then it's icing on the cake when you have little lectures with them. But I think what's most powerful is what they see, right? What they're watching you do is what they see.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Like
Yeah.
I can.
Experience what they see, what they touch, right? Like today, I just sent my boys out. I said, go clean the grill. I don't care if it's perfect, just try to clean the grill so that we can bring it back inside. And, they're probably not going to do a perfect one, but the fact that they get handy and stuff like that, that's what we do with boys, And that experience is greater than what I can say to them or what they can read in a textbook in the name of they don't have to go through it to learn it. No, they need to go. Some of the best lessons they're going to learn in life, they need to go through it to learn it. And this is where prayer comes in if you're a Christian, to pray for them that God will continue to wash them. And
Now, even if you do the right things, it's not a guarantee.
there's no
You raise them
guarantee.
the right way.
There's no guarantee. So there's no right way. There's more like a guide that they can use, tools that they can tap into as they go through life, right? Oh, I remember this as they're going through life. That's really all you can hand them. Somebody said, well, I will never let my daughter, like, shut up. You don't have that kind of power. Okay? There are grown men saying that on the internet. I will never let my daughter. The moment you start that sentence like that, I know you don't know what you're talking about. And I don't think that works, because what's going to happen is that your daughter is going to gain their own agency, autonomy at some point, and they will push against every stupid things that you taught them if you happen to be unlucky. And it might hurt them for real now, because because they've been protected for so long, they're going the opposite direction. There's no guide. In life, it's always sweet in the middle. It's a dance. There's no such thing as everything is extreme and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to teach my kids that anything is extreme. I want them to understand that it's case by case. It's where they land. How do you respond to crisis in real time as it's coming, right? That's life. And that's what I like. That's the idea I like to teach to kids. And then, in terms of moral standards and stuff like that, they're watching my lifestyle anyway. That supersedes everything anyway. If I tell them one thing, I do something else. What difference does that make, So, but I get you, but sorry, experience is still the best teacher. Okay?
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even believe that. Like, it's crazy. I don't believe that.
You don't have a choice. It's not a choice that we have. It's not a choice that we have. Experience, the closest thing to is mentorship, maybe coaching. Textbooks are terrible. Somebody pour their mind. Yes, it's just I think it's a good thing to read textbook. Don't get me wrong, I think reading is good, but when you get out there and practice, that's why they call it practice, right? You ever seen a doctor and say, I've never would you let a doctor that's never caught animal cut you if you found out, right? They've never, doctors go through cutting cadaver and stuff like that before they try to touch human beings. And even at that, when somebody is cutting human beings, they learn from other doctors that are senior, that have been doing it forever. They don't say, hey, we have technology that can do the cutting of the stomach, let's do it. That's not how that works. Experience is still the best teacher. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Adebusala, for the conversation. You have a last word? Or that's it?
Like, it's something that, because this.
Oh, you just came back. I think you were seasoned. Can you hear me?
I don't know, I don't think, one day I hope I will agree with you. But
can you go back? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I lost you for a second. Can you go back to what you were saying?
I said I appreciate you engaging with me.
Yeah.
But I don't think all things has to be experienced for you to learn.
I don't think so too. I didn't say that.
But I feel like it's not. You don't have to experience everything for you
Yeah,
to
I agree with you on that. I suggest that, as a matter of fact. But I'm telling you that human beings is coconut head. Sometimes they have to. You get what I'm saying? This is expectation that we're talking about here. I agree with you.
Human being that is coconut head.
Human beings have coconut head, all of us. Sometimes we don't listen until we just don't hear it until we've been through it. Because we can't relate. That's why. Like you're saying something in theory, it makes sense, but they can't relate, so they're disconnected. So once they see, they can align, because every one of us, we have things going on in our head all the time. So that's why you pray. That's why you pray that you don't miss.
That's why I pity people that don't believe in anything. You know, like sometimes, when you cannot fathom anything, just say the fact that you can even say God understands. That's one psychological relief that you can never have, for you to rationalize and look at the way I'm overthinking things, because I'm trying to rationalize.
You rationalize everything. Yeah, good luck.
So like that's so if you believe in
Good luck.
the supreme being, you can always say, well,
Yeah.
believe that's God. Like
You don't have to believe in supreme being. Some people don't believe, but they also understand that they don't have answers to everything. Rationalizing is seeking answers for everything, right? Or seeking, it needs to make logical sense.
So what does life with Natu means by you all have the same story?
Coconut head. I think she's talking about coconut head. I think. Do you know that most 10-year-old watches P movies both home and abroad? Yeah. But I don't really see much of. I think that's bad. I think that's a parenting thing. I think that's supervisorship. But I think it's if it's extreme. What do I mean by extreme? Like the parents are not paying attention at all. I think that's bad. But if you have enough people that are honest with you, the way we were growing up, when we were being raised in the 90s, we were exposed too early. We just don't talk about it, right? And some of us turn out fine. We're not justifying it. It doesn't mean you should now allow it. What you should learn from that is make sure you're watching your kids, because if you're not paying attention, if you're working too much, they will find their way to some of these things. But that's the reality. You're right. It's bad. But.
Okay, you mentioned something earlier on. Now that this person talk about 10-year-old, you said you teach your boys game.
Game in terms of social intelligence, social emotional intelligence skills. Emotional intelligence,
like, do you
social
make them
power.
These, how to
I've gone through I've gone through that with them. 48 laws of power, and the way I did it is a conversation. They did most of the talking, right? They did most of the talking, and for the most part, they have an idea, but when you're having a conversation, a dialogue with them, it helps them arrange their thought process. And you can say, what about this? I can ask questions to help them direct their thoughts. Questions that are more like why should this, why should, and then have the conversation, and we just do that. So
have you ever flipped it on you?
No, so that's the thing with
your logic.
Yeah,
that flip your logic.
Yeah, they haven't, okay? They haven't, and no one can really. That's I'll be fine with it. Then we'll play that game, because what it comes down to is value, right? If there's value, if we're talking about value, everybody will be fine now, right? What's the value in whatever we're talking about, right? Why should negotiation skills is essentially what I'm talking about, right? Like, why should, if they want to have conversation around power with me, right? 48 laws of power, and they try to flip it and say, so do you think I should take this money now or I should use it later? I said, do you think? You tell me, right? So I make them answer all the questions, and there's also the authority that I have as a father that just kind of trump everything by default anyway, But if they use it on me, that would be a day of joy for me, because I would just find so much fun in that. What's that?
They will. I've had one of the boys that I'm trying to counsel flip things on me. Man, like I was like, it was crazy that day, because I was just talking to him about something. He just said he just used it back, and in my mind I knew that was my logic. I pretend I said, take it.
So even adults do that to us, right? So what I do is that I will engage my patience. It just means I need to listen a little bit more. We all care about something. There's something we care about, but sometimes when we're not patient enough to listen long enough, or we jump to conclusion prematurely, then they will try to use it and flip it on us. But if you flip it on me, maybe I deserve that you flip it on me. Maybe I'm the one that's weak in whatever it is that we're talking about, right? And then I can course correct, right? But again, it's about value, right? What is it that we're talking about? What is that you want? What do I want? You've paid me, let's say, for example, you've paid me as a coach. And then you flip one of my concepts on me, right? You say something like, well, Ola, you always say that women don't lie, men don't listen. And you're a woman, and I'm coaching you, right? I'll first of all do this laughter I just did. I was like, what do you mean? So you don't lie? Well, I've never lied, and I just wanted to tell you that this man is like the rest of them is evil. I was like, okay, if this man is evil, why would you want to stay with him? It should be as simple as you go file for divorce right now. And that will open another lane for us to continue the conversation. You know what I'm saying? This man is just inherently evil. Like, he just doesn't listen. And like the rest of the men, like, let's say I'm coaching and counseling somebody and they just want to brush men under the rug to make them feel good. I just need to be patient. It might just be a momentary thing. They need to feel better or need to feel validated about what they're trying to say. But it's usually an indication that I'm not listening long enough. If I am a better listener than you, it's going to be very hard for you to flip it on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I received that. The one last question I have to you is also about.
Are you sure? It's the last one. Are you sure it's the last one?
Do you think that
Okay, all right.
Go
ahead.
It's actually the last one because I don't believe it, but some people say it. A lot of people say, do you believe that men are predatory in nature or like territory in nature?
Men are predatory and territory in nature?
By nature. Just because they are born here.
Yes, but again, it depends on what we're talking about, right? Some people will bring that into conversation and they say, yeah, because men like to go and kill lions, but those are lions though. So we can come and eat the lion. Like, okay. Context matters, you know. I think in nature, men are territorial. Yes. I think
people don't say that, but it is inherent in their nature. Like, you know how that
yes.
Women, like, because like if somebody is territorial and predatory in nature, as a woman, that you shouldn't try to how will I put it? Still in relationship stuff, like you should accept them for who they are.
Yeah. No, not well, about accepting, right? Yeah, it's not about accepting. Men are predatory in nature, meaning men like to conquer. It's a sense of a conqueror. You want to be able to conquer your territory and take over. Yes, damn near you might start calling me insecure if you really see how deep this goes. Okay?
No, I will never call you insecure because, like, you know, I think one of the things that what happens like between people that are in relationship is that we refuse to accept some basic truth. Like, for instance, if I know if I have a friend, I don't try to change my friend to be like me.
Right. That's smart.
I use whatever they are. Let me say
there's a reason why they are your friend. If they can be used, then maybe they are useless. Yes.
Like, I use that to my advantage. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Like,
would they like to be useless?
No, like, not use. Like, okay.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Let's say I know that you are this kind of person. Let's say I believe in all this 50-50 bullshit that they say now. And I have a friend that likes to give. I don't try to convince that friend
not to give, right?
We need to share. You understand what I'm saying? So what I just do sometimes is, if this person believes that, okay, when we have a girls' night out, she will always pay. One day I will just believe that I should pay.
Right.
I don't even understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't
go ahead.
I don't think we must share. No. We must share the bill today.
No, we don't have to share. I have partners that I work with, and sometimes we end up on the same project and we have to work together. We have to have meetings. I got you this time. You got me next time. There might not be a next time.
But some people, they are so critical. They ask, how much do I owe you? How much do I? They will keep asking you.
Yes,
I don't do this
that's
for
an
you.
I know what you mean. That's an anti-seductive behavior. It's right here. It's a poison. It poisons relationship. If you look at anti-seducers on the screen right now, number yeah, number 4, right? Number 4, but also number 3. Everything must be equal on one side for them, right? They have to split everything
Okay,
down
now
the
going back
middle.
to the
They're always
predatory,
playing
going back to
fairness.
predatory and territorial nature, do you think that if that is an inherent nature of men, do you now think that women should accept that and work with that?
No, accept it in what way? This is what I want you to accept. Let me explain to you what you need to accept. Okay. Somebody asked earlier and said, what do men want? Let me see if I can still find it. Okay, here you go. And I said he wants to feel like the king and feel needed, even if it's an illusion. The key word is feeling. Feeling, right? Accepting it actually is a powerful thing for you, depending on your perspectives, on how you see things, your outlook on this issue, right? If you accept it, it's like, oh, this my man is this way, right? Don't just accept anything general and paste it on your husband. That doesn't work. That backfires. But
And you
let's
draw the
say,
line.
yeah, Kiloso,
Like, but in accepting, you have to
yeah.
have like a boundary, like something that
In accepting, you shouldn't be on the receiving end of bad behavior. Okay, don't be what do you call it? Don't be a doormat. Don't be a pillow that somebody is beating on because they are.
pillow
This
and
is
a
just
pillar.
me. You're right. Don't do that to yourself because somebody say you should accept something. No, you don't have to accept jack. Okay, but if we're talking purely emotional, that's why I use the word feelings, right? Yes, a man want to feel like he conquered his territory, like this is mine, like this is my wife, I'm the king of this castle. He wants to feel that. And if you as a woman understand that and you go low worry me or like if you do all that kind of stuff, his
Even if it's not
balls
true,
his balls are your he would do everything you want him to do. His balls are now yours. Okay, just because you understand this, or quote unquote, depending on who is talking to you, say you should accept it. It's not accepting it that way. It's just realizing that, hey, men generally like to feel respect. Don't go there and say, well, all people want to feel respect. That's not the same thing. Okay, that's not the same thing. The same word, not the same thing. He wants to feel respected by his woman. You can blame it on social construct, you can blame it whatever you want to blame it on, but you've noticed that your husband, if you talk slightly sideways with him, his behavior changes, start acting like a baby around the house. Maybe you should pay attention to that and say, babe, you know I didn't mean that, I love you. Rub the back of his head, make him feel like a king. Now he's yours. Who has the power now? These are what we're talking about, feelings, at an emotional level. Don't be there and say, oh, somebody said I should accept it, and somebody is beating over me all the time, even with their words. Like, no, don't accept that. If you continue to accept that, you might not even realize that you're accepting. You might just think things are normal, and by the time
but this
you,
is like you say,
yeah,
like I hear you, but okay, let me just take it. Don't let
no,
me
give me the but.
after
I
the
know there's
first
a
time
big old
already.
but there. Tell me the but. You hear me, but.
Like, if you do it, maybe there is this push and pull thing.
Yes,
Like,
it's a dance.
You said
Yes, it is a dance. You said push and pull. I said yes, it is a dance, right? If you do it, you need to be, well, you need to have a strong purpose for doing it, a strong why, and it needs to be about you. Okay, if you don't have that, if you're faking it, it will backfire. You will end up resenting yourself. Okay, so I don't think you should be
like
rewarding
it's
bad
something that
behavior.
it's not something that the person feels. So if that is the case, that means like for any two people to get into a relationship, for the most part, I've not talked about this before. Okay, if a man wants to get into a relationship with a woman, that means he wants something from her.
Yeah, there's value in it. There's some kind of value there. Did you hear me?
I can hear you. Like I'm thinking, like you want something from so,
And vice versa. Right?
okay.
There's something you want. I mean, maybe it's just me. Well, there's something that it makes you feel like being with me. What is it that you want? Maybe it's just connection. Number four. I don't know. But there's something in it for you. Right? Maybe it's certainty. Maybe it's security.
Well, like
Maybe
women and girls are out there going through a relationship and demanding nothing.
no, they're getting something. It's just they haven't unpacked it. They're getting something. It could be even status. Maybe it's a pastor and she feels safe being with the pastor. That's still something. That's value.
Pastor, I beg, don't talk about pastor.
We haven't covered the virgin story yet. So some virgin say, "Well, it's a pastor." Okay, that's value. It makes you feel something. Whatever it makes you feel, that's the value you're getting. Nobody is getting into a relationship just for charity. Even charity itself belongs in number 6. Contribution.
Or like in church, they don't teach it that way.
They don't.
Like I'm going back to religious this thing.
They don't. That's the problem I have with the churchy way of teaching these
They
things.
will be like selfless. What's that word?
Yeah.
Like as if you are being selfless to other people. And that's how some people
Just
get
be
it.
Jesus. Yeah. Just be Jesus, basically. Yeah.
Like,
Mary
thank
Magdalene.
you for having me. Let me just stop because my mind there. Once you open
Your
up
mind
my
is good,
I
but
can't
just feel
stop
free to
this.
come up anytime. Thank you so much.
You said
Feel free to come up anytime.
like thank you for having me and thank you for what you do and have a good one.
Thank you so much, Adebusala. We'll talk soon. All right, bye. All right, that was a good one. That's a good. I always enjoy the conversation. Feel free to come up anytime. If there's room in my time, I'll create it sometimes, and we'll make it work. But we can learn a lot from that. If somebody is dragging you on the internet, we're talking about Banky W. I'm just gonna leave you with this, right? Somebody say, you need to answer to us. It's nonsense. You don't have to answer to nothing. At some point, you might need to answer to it. Depends on 4 factors I'm going to share with you. Your personal mindset, okay? If it makes you feel better to answer to it, hopefully, I would basically consider your personal mindset. Make sure that, but I would definitely consider that. Make sure you're not just overreacting. But that's actually not the number one. The number one I wanted to share with you when it comes to pure rumors. If we're talking about pure rumors right now, what I want you to pay attention to is this one: the accuracy of the rumor. Did you do it? If you do it, that's not the end of it. If you do it, relax. Okay, relax. You don't have to answer people. You don't owe anybody answers. Okay, not the public. Okay, I don't care if they call you a pastor. So you're a pastor, you must answer. No, that's BS. Okay. Number 2, higher belief gravitation in negativity. Right. I'm looking at stuff from yesterday. So that was wrong. I knew that was wrong instantly. Let me see here. I knew that was wrong instantly. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Number 2 is the platform and the reach. The platform that's dragging you. How big are they? How credible are they? Those are the things you need to consider, right? Where's the rumor originating from? In this case, they didn't mention your name. Okay. Not a big deal. But, everybody is dragging it. It can tamper with things you care about and stuff like that. But in terms of the platform and reach, some platforms are big enough and the rumor can spread wide enough, then it can absolutely destroy wherever you're cooking. Those are some of the things you need to consider. Okay. All right. The number 3 thing you need to consider is legal implication. Okay. If the rumor is defamatory or damaging, talk to legal experts. After all, you're a person of status. You can make 1 or simple 2 calls. You talk to a few friends that will know something about something. They will tell you if you need to react, if you don't need to react. I'd rather you talk to your lawyer first before you talk to your pastor. Okay, the pastor can pray for you while you're going through this, but this is a real life situation. Okay, all right, but legal experts can guide you on the best course of action. You should take your time on this. Okay, you don't need to rush it. I promise you, heaven is not falling out of the skies. Not tonight, not tomorrow. Okay, take your time. Okay, and number 4 will be personal values and brand image. This is the part where some people try to plug in the pastor thing, because your pastor, there's some things that we just do in pastor. Yes, you should consider your personal values and the image you want to portray. Some individuals will choose to address the rumors immediately to maintain transparency and trust with the audience. I'm telling you, the audience, that's not the reason why they're loyal to you. They just like drama. Okay, so be careful when you're basically trying to do things to please your audience. They are pleased by your brand already and the consistency of what you offer the world, not by how holy you are. I don't care if you're a pastor. People follow pastors not because of how holy they are. They follow them just because. Okay, it makes them feel safe, whatever. They just like him. Okay, they feel among. Oh, varieties looks beautiful in the church. Koza. Everybody walks on paradise when they go to Koza. Some people go there for that reason. They just want to feel among. Okay, not because it's holy. I think we found that out years later that they don't really care. They don't really care. So number 1, accuracy of the rumor. Number 2, the platform and the reach. How big is it? Is it really that big of a deal? How credible is it? More importantly, how credible, right? All right. Legal implications. If they are credible that much enough, you can sue them, and it's defamation. You need to talk about all. I would say give yourself 2 weeks to assess all of this. After 2 weeks, they'll probably have forgotten and move on, and you just notice that you just gain maybe 200,000 extra followers. Not bad for a nice 2 days of trending. Okay, what I just said here is easier said than done. Let's be clear. Some people care about their brand. They want to overreact. It's emotional to them, but it's always bad. Talk to other people. Make sure that you're not misfiring. Okay. All right. On your way out, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. Let everybody know. There's a nice little love emoji thing over there on the corner that I noticed YouTube just. If you can just go ahead and tap on it right now. Just tap on it so we can tell YouTube that we're enjoying what is going on, in addition to the like buttons. If you see it on your chat, please make sure you are tapping on the heart thing on the side of your chat. But I want to say thank you so much for coming by on the Monday evening. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. Let me see. Did I miss something so far? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think we're good. Yep. All right. Yep, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. If you're watching a replay, there's always a $sign around this video. Please feel free to support. All right, thank you. We'll see you on the next one, and peace.